Hey guys, Jason Cardamone here, and I'm shooting this video. I just had multiple emails throughout the last about 12 hours or so from a particularly, I can't say that word obviously, difficult person to work with. And it's actually, how this all started was, so this person signed up for the team system and they did it on the wrong person. So late last night I was on my BlackBerry in bed and I said, hey, I saw you were under the wrong person. I'll help you sort this out in the morning, but we'll make sure we get you to the right person that gets credit for you and everything. And so basically this morning came, I had all these family plans and things, and so I didn't get back to the person until about noon or 1 p.m. And I actually got a somewhat rude email that was like, are you awake yet? What's going on? Like, that's kind of like how I pictured that, how my mind pictured the words on the screen. And maybe they didn't say it in the same tone. That's actually part of some of the problem with email communication, is that you can attach emotions or things to it, to words that maybe another person meant a different meaning. So it would have been even better on the phone. Maybe it would have even been worse on the phone, that this person would have been more of a jerk than what I pictured them to be. And I think I have a good feel for who they are, because we've exchanged another 10 emails throughout today. And so just like 15-20 minutes ago, I got up from the computer. I was upstairs working on the laptop responding to this person, and I got up and she's all, how you doing, babe? And I was like, I'm fuming. And she's all, what's going on? And it was just this one person got me really worked up. Hey guys, sorry about that. So I forgot, I wanted to talk about, when I got up from my computer, I was telling you guys, my wife was, I told her I'm fuming, and it's really because he was attacking one of my top leaders and a person who just has this heart of gold, and I was really frustrated and I was pissed about it. And I walked over to my window and I looked outside and I immediately went to go change my state. And it's such a, a lot of you guys have heard me talk about, changing your state and the triad of focus and physiology and language. And so immediately I just went, one of the first things, you change your physiology, change your breathing. So I was like, shh, 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 yes, yes, yes. Right now, just by me doing that, I'm filled with chills. My whole mood just changed, and I'm actually really excited right now. And granted, I'm not all mad. I was starting to bring up a few more of those feelings just talking about them with you guys just then. But just literally physiology, changing my physiology, doing some things. And that's actually my main power move. I learned that at Tony Robbins. You just, I'm throwing my arm down. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm throwing my bottom arm just down like this. And then I'm going, yes, yes, yes. And I've literally done that so many hundreds of times where it completely changes my state. Just those couple seconds it took me to do that. So I did that right away, and I'm still looking out the window, and I already felt better. And then I started taking some deep breaths. So I was just breathe deep all the way in. I held it a little bit and then let it out. And these are deep through my diaphragm, where like, diaphragm breathing is like you want your stomach to move out when you breathe, not in your chest as much. So it's not like your shoulders shouldn't come up. Your shoulders should stay, and your stomach should actually be coming out because you're breathing more in your diaphragm. So, and I have some exercise on how to do that where I'm not going to go in all the deep stuff here, but I did just want to say, I was so frustrated with this guy, but I was literally within like 30 seconds or a minute able to change my state. And then I came down and I was shooting this video just a handful of minutes. I think when I first went through this, I said at 15 or 20 minutes. It hadn't been. It was like I was down here within 5 minutes. And I told my wife too, I was like, I need to go shoot a video about this. She's all like, don't shoot a video, you're too mad or anything. But I'd already changed my state, and she like, I don't know if she missed that or what, but I was like, no, I'm totally fine. Like, I wanted to like still be in as much of the emotion as possible, but knew I had already dissipated a lot of it. So anyway, I wanted to take this chance to, just talk about that. Some of changing your state, change your physiology, breathe. And you guys probably haven't practiced all that stuff, and if you haven't, what I used to do to change my state when things like this would happen is go out for a run. And it's so funny, I've done that so much throughout my life, I even thought about that immediately, like now I do need to go on my run now, because I've actually skipped my run so far today. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go out on my run. That's my natural instinct on how to change my state. It's even more natural than this whole like yes, yes, yes thing I just showed you guys. So anyway, I hope that serves you guys a little bit. If anything, if you're like let's say you're around somebody, you're too embarrassed to do that kind of stuff, then just change your state. Get up, take some breaths, walk around, do some pacing, do anything. If you want to like throw some fake punches, box, do whatever it is, like do anything and change your state, because it literally starts to change. Your entire nervous system changes when you change your physiology. So whether it's you go out running, you do this yes, 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 all this, you know, all the stuff I was doing. You start punching, you just start punching the air. You know, another thing I would totally like, I've done this tons of times, is I'd go kick a soccer ball up against a wall and just start kicking a ball around. Because I've obviously played soccer for 3 decades now. So anyway guys, I hope that helps you out. Get back to the video now, and we'll chat with you guys soon. So get back in there. And here's what it was. It wasn't that they were just being a jerk to me. It was that they were directly going after one of my very top team leaders, and a person I know very well. This person has a huge heart. They're extremely optimistic, and they always reach out to help other people. And this person was bad-mouthing that person, and that just really drives me crazy. You know, I've dealt with a lot in my career where someone will do the same thing to me, and I've grown a lot thicker skin over time where, like, dude, you can call me whatever you want to, and, you know, I find a lot of humor in that. And really at the core of all this stuff, guys, just comes back, you know, people make the right decision with all the information they have at hand. And so what this guy's story was, in this situation we're talking about right now, was, and I want to say names, but I don't want any names out there, and so this person, we'll call him H. And so this H person, who is being the jerk or whatever, they had actually thought the person they were dealing with, between them and I, this person, the same name as somebody else, they thought was from some other company. They're like, well, this person is a fraud, and I've dealt with them before. And so basically they had all these preconceived notions, or this picture of who this other, the top leader I told you guys about. This H guy was just ripping them a new hole, and it was totally the wrong person, wasn't even the right person. And so a couple things why I shot this video for you guys is that, number one, you have to grow thick skin, and if this was early in my career, if this was directly someone I had sponsored, I would have bent over backwards and done anything for them. And I would have tried to smooth this over until kingdom come. And the reality is, this H person is not going to change. The reality is, they need to read Think and Grow Rich. They need to go read, you know, I'm totally, I can't think of any, you know, the exact right books this person needs, but they need dozens of great books to really start getting the right mindsets. And there's even an email I started writing back, and he had wrote something, you know, I think such and such, and I wrote back and I was like, your thinking is stinking. And I actually deleted it, because I've learned when you start getting attacked, the worst thing you can do is try to attack someone directly back. You know, in the real world, you get attacked directly, you know, what I've learned is, you know, first thing, like, turn your cheek kind of thing. If they then continue to come after you, then unleash everything you got, or do whatever you have to do to get out of the situation. And so online, you know, especially when you're doing this over email, I've really learned, you just don't directly attack someone right back. You try to see it through their point of view, try to understand where they're coming from. And I did that multiple times today, and they kept coming back with, just got more and more vicious. And I was just like, obviously this person's totally hopeless. And I was completely going to cut them off, just like I normally, you know, I've grown. If this person was direct to me, they'd have been cut off many emails ago. Like one earlier today, like after a couple exchanges, they would have been gone. Not after 10 or 15 emails back and forth. And but the reason I didn't do that was because they're actually like 4 or 5 levels deep in my team. And I want to give these people, the people between me and H, I want to give these other, let's see, it's actually 3 people, so H is 4 levels deep on the team. I want to give these 3 other people the opportunity to grow as leaders and the experience to grow through all this stuff. And unfortunately, most of H's comments, he kept going directly to me, even though I told him, please reply to all so the other 3, the sponsors between you and I, can all get involved in this and help you out as well. And I told him, I have a team, this team that he's on is 15,000 members at the time of this video, and I was like, look, I can't work with people 3 and 4 levels deep, 5 levels deep, 10, 20 levels deep, all, you know, and give them the same service I can give someone on my personal level. So please work with some of these middle people as well so that they can help me. You know, the one guy who actually sponsored H down here, my 3rd level, this is like, I don't know how many people he sponsored, but it's probably a dozen or 2 or less. And so he has a lot more time and resources and energy to be able to deal with his direct people. But let me get back to the point here. So the reason I didn't completely cut this guy out of my life is that I didn't want, what if the guy I just told you about down to my 3rd level wants to work with this person? Like I would have 5 years ago, I would have totally dealt with H for literally for months and months, even for years. You know, I would say it's probably in all of these people's best interest to cut this guy off and just, hey, say, dude, here, we've already given him all his refunds and everything. We're like, take all your money, get out of our lives. Please don't ever return to our lives until you've read, and give him like a dozen books. I won't even take the time to do any of that right now because I know the person won't read them, and there's a good chance they won't read them. And even if they did, there's still some core issues they're gonna have to spend many months or even years working at least until they become the kind of person that I like to work with. So I guess a couple things. Grow thick skin. This stuff's always gonna happen. You know, we're working with people. And people really do. I believe there's internal things behind why this H person would act like that. I'm just not at a point in my life where I want to dive into all that and do all this one-on-one coaching and help them try to grow and become a better person, because I don't think they're really in that place. They gave no indication that they're at all teachable, that they're at all in a place where they, you know, they want to learn, which is kind of the same thing as teachable. Are they ambitious? I don't know. I couldn't really tell. He's definitely pretty aggressive, which sometimes ambitious people are aggressive, but also he's a big jerk. And jerks don't do well in a people-oriented industry like internet network marketing. So anyway, I hope this serves you guys in any way. I just want to let you guys know there's definitely, you're going to be presented with this, I guarantee it. If you're dealing any kind of industry where you're working with people, even if you're just doing internet marketing, if you have to do any of the customer service at all, like follow up with people that have bought stuff from you, you're going to be presented with things like this. So you need to either grow thick skin or hire people that can deal with things like this for you, and you just stay away from all this stuff. You know, I'm at a point in my life where I surround myself by positive influences and people that are, if they're not more successful than me, they're at least positive and optimistic. Well, those are the same. Positive, optimistic. They're ambitious. They're teachable. You know, those are some of the key things I look for. There's probably a few others I'm not thinking of right now. But I also wanted to let you guys know I wasn't always like that. When you first start out and your group is smaller, sometimes you might put up with more things. And what you'll learn to find your own boundaries over time. I wouldn't have found the way to where I'm at now if I wouldn't have gone through literally dozens, maybe even a few hundred people that are just like H. Some worse, some different shades of gray. You know, maybe not quite as bad as H, but maybe somewhere in the, you know, somewhere in the scales on, you know, between him and worse than him and you know, the ideal person to work with. So you'll find your own way. You know, I actually encourage you guys, if you've never had someone like this on your downline or on your team or anywhere, don't be afraid to work with them. You know, it's a learning experience. Play with it and have some fun. You know, I used to directly just go attack somebody through email and be like, you're totally wrong. I've done this and this and this. You're completely wrong about me. Get all offended. And now I'm literally to the point where if I even will respond to someone like this, that I will actually start joking around and just like have some fun with it. Because that's actually part of my purpose in life. For those of you who don't know it, the purpose of my life is to love, to enjoy the journey, and to inspire, teach, and serve others. So I hope I was able to serve you guys here, and you also see to enjoy the journey. That's part of how I enjoy things. If I come across some big jerk, I either just ignore him, or I'll have some fun with it and have, enjoy it. And even if not doing it in a way where I make fun of them, but have some fun and maybe I'll know exactly what they mean and I'll just play around like if they're being super sarcastic, I'll take it the opposite point of how they wanted me to take it. And just take it like the words actually meant, not the sarcasm kind of stuff. So I'll just do things like that and just have some fun. And even, sometimes it even gets through to the other person. They're like, wow, I'm just being this big jerk. This guy, I've done all the tricks I know and he's just completely coming back. So I'm going to kind of leave it. I'm not going to respond to his emails directly anymore, and I'm going to, kind of leave it in the leadership of the other 3 people that are upline to him between me and H. And also communicate to those 3 people. I'm not just going to cut it all off and not talk to them at all. I'm going to let them know exactly what's going on. And that's communication. I've always, preached big time communication, especially when we're doing this stuff over the internet. It's not like we're all in this room together and like talking and like we're all on the same page. These emails are only to me. It's not like they're all watching this guy berate me in front of a room, which then I could deal with that in a certain way and communicate things and everybody would see it. This is over one-on-one emails he's sending to me, and when I reply back, I copy the 3 people between H and myself. So anyway guys, I hope this serves you a little bit. And I know I recapped the lessons 2 or 3 different times and everything, so I guess the main things: grow thick skin. You're in a people industry, you never know what people are going to throw at you. It keeps things fun. We need certainty as well as uncertainty. People provide all kinds of uncertainty for you. The working with people, don't be afraid to be selective of who you work with. But when you're first starting out, I encourage you to deal with several people like this so you can, because sometimes you will get through. Sometimes it really was just a one-time misunderstanding, and sometimes H would turn around and be like, holy cow, I'm so sorry, I really messed up. This H that I'm dealing with this time, they would never apologize for anything. That's not in their nature. And I realized that about 5 emails ago. And so, but you have to figure that out. How would you know if this kind of person that would ever apologize and come around, and maybe they're going to be this great leader and it's just a huge misunderstanding? Which part of it was? They thought one of these 3 that I really talked highly about, they were like, that person's a jerk, I work with them in this other company, when it wasn't even the same person. And even when he found that out, he never apologized or anything. You have to give people a chance to find those kind of things out. And so anyway, I don't even know how to cap everything at this point, guys, but hopefully I've kind of halfway started to summarize why I ever shot this video in the first place. And then I don't know if I made this point fully, but one of the points in summary as well is give, especially when you're working deeper on a team, don't get, if you're at a point where you're just cutting jerks out of your life, like I am right now, don't be afraid to give the other people between you and the H or the jerk, whoever it is, give them a chance to grow from this, and maybe they will actually want to work with this person. Maybe, if this person can make them money, or even a learning experience is even better than just making money, but maybe they're at a point where they're willing to work with this person even if you're not. And if that's where you're at, communicate that to the people between you and H and let them know, look, I'm not going to work with this at all, but this is totally in your guys' hands. Or you girls, guys, all that. So anyway, guys, hope that serves you guys to your ultimate success, and God bless everybody.